Project Soapway, number 7, the prep take 2. And then I should also mention I have 5 compartments. Alright, here we go. The moment y'all been waiting for.
So no, I didn't forget about Project Soapway. It's just I was planning on doing this on Monday, but the winner of today's, had to work late on Monday, and then I had meetings all night last night. This was the time that we could do the premiere of this video to make sure that he was going to be available for the premiere to hang out with us in the chat and, watch us congratulate him because he's awesome and all the things, and he should be there for the premiere of his own video. These are things that you probably don't care about, but I didn't forget, is the point. We just, scheduling issues. Today, as you probably know, based on the title and literally what just came out of my mouth, we are premiering the third and final winner of Project Soapway Challenge number 7, the Argyle Challenge. And I will tell you more about the winner and their beautiful soap in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for week 20 of year 3 and Project Soapway Challenge number 7, winner number 3, and that winner for the Argyle Challenge is eXtraSoaps. Now, you may be familiar with the name eXtraSoaps, and you should be, because he won the lotion challenge on challenge number 6. Pretty sure that's right. A lot of these are running together, but eXtraSoaps, as I said, second time winner on all of this, and the soap that he made for this is absolutely stunning. It's so meticulous. He put so much work into figuring out the pattern and like solving the puzzle based on the weird information that I gave, but also some hints that I had given within it, leaning into the hint wherein I said you only just have to have one good bar. He did that thing, and he created one bar that took him 5 hours to make. 5 hours of actual recorded footage. So this is an interesting bar in that it is a hybrid. So it's a cold process pour for the actual Argyle part of it, the diamond part, and then a melt and pour. We put all of them together, but he also made the melt and pour from scratch. All in all, it was a whole lot of footage, and so I decided to not include the melt and pour, but he has said that it's fine if we use his recipes and we share his recipes. So Sudsers that are in the Discord, if you are interested in that, let me know or let eXtraSoaps know, and we can definitely put that in the Discord if he hasn't done so already. But yes, 2 eXtraSoaps. He is a biochemist. He is in the research and development world. He's worked in the cosmetic world as well as viruses, and he's very cool. I love the way he approaches soap. I love the way he approaches cosmetics. I love his best practices that he has lined up. Everything is just so clean and meticulous. Everything is out, ready to go for all soap pours, no matter what. And I think that's amazing. So we get to see him in action today pouring this beautiful soap, which is, I guess, an Argyle, but it might also be a Harlequin. But we will talk about all of those things while we check out his awesome pour, but also all of the different angles that he had for me to play with. So let's get to the video and we can do that. Okay, today we have our third and final Project Soapway Argyle Challenge winner, and that's Anthony of eXtraSoaps. And this is his second win of Project Soapway, and also it's second in a row. His last win was for the lotion challenge, and he was amazing with the lotion challenge. I loved watching all of his footage for that. I loved seeing the scientific process. He is a biochemist. We're going to talk all about him throughout all of this because his footage for this one was a lot longer than the footage for the lotion challenge because it's a very long process documenting every single part of a pour that is this detailed and is at least a 2-day pour, although in the case of Rissa from Adventures in Soap became a 3-ish day pour. And so it actually takes a long time. And so we've got tons of time to talk about him and everything that he is. But first up, for this Argyle, I am in love with all of the different angles that he has, delivered for all of this. And I'm also in love with his setup. I really like the idea of pulling everything that you need for the project that you're working on onto a tray. Separate trays, as you can see with all of this. So tray for his oils. Oils are done, then you put those away. Tray for his colorants and everything that he needs for his colorants and his scenting and all of the things. Once that is done, you put it away. I love it. It's very efficient and it's a lot easier than not getting everything out and then remembering that you kind of need to before you start, and then you have to go find your scent. Now, this particular scent blend, Dr. Feelgood, he said it is actually discontinued, so it's no longer available. So this is like, I think, the last ever soap that Anthony gets to use this for. And I really loved all of the different colorants that he used within all of this, and I thought it was very cool getting to play with this or the blue pea powder thing. You know what I mean? Because somebody had said in comments, actually I think multiple people had said in a comment for his lotion video, because he also played with that in there, that it goes green. And to my understanding, that is what he's using right there for the blue. And I've already seen the end result of all of this, and it did not turn green. So I don't know. But so anyway, point is we actually get to look at all of that in real time and watch not only his very precise coloring of everything, making sure that everything is the color that he likes, but also what these colors are ultimately going to end up doing within his soap. Now, for all of this, he has a lot of colors going on here, but ultimately what he's doing is 4 or 5 pieces for this Argyle soap. So 4 or 5 colors, and he's kind of chunked out a mold using boxes. I think in his case he used, cardboard boxes from an empty thing of gloves in order to separate all of the sections. So he's going to have all of his colors in the same mold, poured at the same time, that he can then, chunk out and cut up accordingly. And within his recipe here, I think I actually did leave a clip in of what he's working with. I know I put it in the very beginning as the teaser. Yeah, so 5 different sections of color. So with his, he's actually doing 2 recipes in one, in that he is doing the cold process recipe right now to get all of the colored portions for his diamond pattern for his Argyle. But then he also makes a homemade, made from scratch melt and pour recipe to fill in all of the negative space around the pattern that he will ultimately create with these soaps that he is making. Also, shout out to all of the different angles and everything, and how I actually had time to put some of them in and use them because it was a lot of fun. I loved it a lot. I also love that he's including all of his clays and everything that he's putting into his cold process soap recipe into his oils before he really even starts with the lye solution. I love that. I think mixing everything in is a good idea. I've actually taken to doing that a lot myself lately. I kind of go all over the board with that. Sometimes I will just put the kaolin clay in that's been mixed with water after I've hit emulsion. Other times I will just dump it in, dry into the traced soap batter. And other times, like right now, I'm on a kick of actually incorporating it into all of the oils before the lye solution goes in, like Anthony has done here. But yeah, so the negative space with all of this will be a homemade, made from scratch melt and pour recipe, which I'm not showing the footage of for the melt and pour recipe throughout this video because the actual the making of the diamond pattern is a very long process in and of itself. And it's almost like he's giving us three awesome things at once. You know what I mean? And so a melt and pour video, I think, would be a standalone, realistically. But another, thing. Look, we get another angle. I like working with his footage so much. Like, I know I continue to say it was long, and it was long, but I really had so much fun working with his different, because he had three different angles when it's all said and done, which is like impressive. Like, look at his side angle here. And also you can see on the counter there that he has his phone. So there's not a single phone that's actually doing any of this recording. He's got a top down going on with a camera there for the majority of our, for the overhead, for the majority of our shots. And then he has a side angle and also a dead on angle. So three different cameras recording. None of them are actually his cell phone. So he's not using his phone for any of it. He's got the light box set up, all of the things. And also I followed his directions to apply some LUTs for all of this so I could get the coloring consistent throughout all of the different angles. And I think I did a pretty good job. Apologies if I did not. I'm not good at this stuff, but all of this extra footage that I have had with these different angles because of eXtraSoap has really helped me learn to be better at all of this stuff. So it's been a lot of fun for sure. Now, as I said, with this, he is chunking all this out into 5 different parts of cold process soap that he will then make into his rhombus shape. See, here's the thing about Anthony. He is, as I said before, a biochemist, and he has that scientific mind, right? And he kind of approaches life as like a puzzle. And what he said within the note that he sent me regarding this particular soap, he said he leaned into the hint that I gave about how you only need 1 bar of soap to submit for a challenge. You know what I mean? You just need 1 perfect to submit. And so he leaned into that. And then he started researching this and approaching it like it was a really big and intense puzzle. And he kind of cracked the code when he realized that he really needs to play around with the rhombus. So we're dealing with geometry. I'm saying things like diamonds and what's the difference between Argyles and Harlequins and all the things. And he's like, okay, so how about we just apply some geometry here? He did the thing. And so he cracked the code, and we can totally see throughout all of this why he won in this Project Soapway challenge, because he did the most. This is all extra. Is that why? Do you think that's why eXtraSoaps is named Extra? Because he certainly approaches all soap making and cosmetics making as like extra. It's in the best way. Like, this is not an insult. I'm actually wildly impressed with all of it. But I really enjoyed this when I first saw the picture of all of it, because I could tell that the in-between, the dead space, the negative space between the diamonds was a melt and pour. And so I was interested to see how well it would hold up through actually making it. Because if you're making the bulk of it a cold process recipe and then you're pouring a melt and pour around it, I would be concerned that the diamonds would kind of flake off and just break off, reasonably easily. So I was very fascinated with that. And then I also thought, very cool idea to include a winner that had essentially incorporated 2 different types of soap making. So a hot process melt and pour and a cold process, within this challenge. Because I haven't actually seen a lot of people use melt and pour as far as embeds or anything in any of the Project Soapway submissions that were sent through. Everything was cold process. So I thought that this was a really fun addition as well. And then also, like I said, you get to see the awesomeness that is Anthony and eXtraSoaps and all of his making. And I do see some blue mica on that counter there. So I'm thinking organic pea powder might actually go green. And he decided to put some of that in as well to ensure that it went blue. And that blue is absolutely gorgeous. That is a blue that I always, always try to achieve, especially during the winter time. For whatever reason, my solstice bars, I'm always wanting that really deep midnight blue for it. And I very rarely get a color actually that gorgeous. And so I'm going to have to go to his notes and see what it is that he used precisely for that dark blue, because I am definitely going to be using it. But Step one in this soap, it has been done. He has put everything in the mold. He has pulled the dividers. He has allowed it to set up overnight. And everything is so smooth and shiny and absolutely stunning. Beautiful soap here. I love all of these colors. Gorgeous color palette right there. For those of you who are trying to tackle the next Project Soapway challenge and you're wondering about palettes, this is a beautiful color palette. Look how great these all go together. Totally in love with this. And so everything looks absolutely stunning with his first, attempt with all of it. And again, I do love that he didn't use proper dividers. And he, reused some old cardboard boxes that were otherwise just going to get recycled. And now, he did recycle them, got another use for them. And not a lot of crossover from one to the other with these bars. And it is also interesting that he cut them all into bars and didn't chunk them out. We did see Rissa chunk them out. And we also saw Twisted chunk them out as well. So he decided to put them all into regular, soap bar shape, which makes sense when you see his assembly of this soap. Assemble indeed. I swear, the Sudsers are like the Avengers out here with this particular challenge, just doing the most. And I loved this idea so freaking much. So this is a fondant mat that Anthony is using in order to create the diamond pattern, right? And so the idea is going to take one bar, he is going to do the impression, and then use that bar to measure the size of the mat that he actually needs, cut this mat down so it's easier to work with, and then all of the lines that exist within that soap are going to be his guide for cutting it. And so when it's all said and done, he will have a bunch of different colors of soap with the exact same size and shape of this particular pattern that he can then reassemble, right? And then pour the melt and pour between for the negative space, and he will have his Argyle. Or I think technically a Harlequin. Listen, first up, I don't know anything about fabrics and textiles and stuff, right? Like I was talking to Kaylee during the Met Gala earlier this week, and she knows that stuff. She likes that stuff, and I don't dislike it, but I don't know anything about it. And so I'm saying that some actress is dressed in like couch upholstery and it looks amazing, So I don't actually know. I could be wrong, but from what I understand now, after having looked up this stuff enough, what he's technically doing with this, I think, is more of a Harlequin than an Argyle, because what I can tell with this Harlequin versus Argyle is a Harlequin print is a bunch of solid colored diamonds that aren't broken up by negative space. And so that red diamond, for example, doesn't have a negative space running through it to create 4 smaller diamonds or triangles or however the cut of a diamond ends up being. Like, with Adventures in Soaps, that was a diamond. There's the diamonds that have the different, that's more Argyle, I guess, is actually what I mean. With this, since he's not cutting any of these diamonds into another shape and putting something else in between, maybe more Harlequin. But I don't really know. Anyway, I think this is a really smart idea, and the amount of patience and effort that it took to perfectly get all of these little lines. Well, actually, I suppose that this particular bit wasn't too terribly involved. You know what I mean? It was just the thinking of it to get to this point that was probably pretty miserable and absolutely ingenious. I love it. It's such a great idea, such a good use of this single cutter here for sure. I actually want one of those really bigly. But the frustrating part probably did come in with him putting everything back together like that, squishing it so he could do, the next cuts like that. Because that's a lot. It's very extra. And I love it so hard. I cannot tell you how much I have just enjoyed getting to know Anthony and eXtraSoaps throughout this journey, obviously, of the 2 back-to-back Project Soapway challenges, but also in just looking at his socials and everything. He's just such a cool human with so many different interests and hobbies. Like I touched on it last week or the week before, the last challenge, about how he's a foodie. He put all the socials for all his foodie stuff. yeah, I didn't get a chance to actually really talk about all of his foodie stuff, and that he has a blog that we should all go check out. I mean, I know I did say we should all go make some tiramisu when we were in the comments and everything for the premiere. But yeah, he has some great recipes. I have made some recipes. By some recipes, I mean I have made all of the recipes that are on his, his blog, because he doesn't have a ton of them on there. So hint hint, if you want to go back to this, I would love some more recipes. He has a recipe for pecan pie, which Mr. Soap and Clay loves pecan pie, and I do not. And I made it, and I actually liked making it. It was delightful, and it had, apple cider vinegar in it, and it had a fancy word for sea salt. Like, it was so cool. I loved everything about it. His blog is amazing. He has, obviously he likes to do this Twitch streaming and stuff, so he'll do food streams, which really makes me like him even more, because some of my favorite creators that I follow, they almost exclusively do food streams. I love them so much, just watching people make the food and talk about the stuff. It's just very delightful. This is also incredibly delightful. And don't worry, we have multiple angles of all of this for sure, so we can see more of the assembly. But I zoomed in as close as I could get with all of this, so you could kind of see how the pattern starts to develop, as well as the amount of time that it really took him to find the exact perfect piece to go in with all of these. Absolutely stunning. I don't do tedious, you guys know that, but this too, again, is something that makes me want to try the tedium, because I too like puzzles, like the putting together of puzzles. I find that to be a very enjoyable experience, and this is like a puzzle for sure. So if somebody just gave me a whole bunch of shapes to put together into this, I think I would have a really great time. And figuring out the pattern for all of the stuff, I believe I would like that quite a bit. I don't know that I would like the actual cutting down of the pieces to these perfect sizes to ensure that everything is perfectly going together. I don't know that I would like this as much, but I definitely love the assembly idea. And it's definitely a lot of fun watching him do it. And it's such an inventive and creative way to approach this. Since we've started this, I have had the opportunity to go and look at a couple other, tutorials on how to make an Argyle and all the jazz. Nobody has done it like this. I have yet to see someone do it like this. So well done. It's very creative. I love it for sure. I'm going to go ahead and swap to a different angle here so we can kind of see the side angle on all of this, and another way to look at it, so we have all of the different pieces that he has to choose from there. He's still keeping everything mostly intact, so he has a reasonable idea of where he should be pulling from, so the pieces will fit together properly. It's also so smart. It really is. But yeah, coming to that would be really, really tedious for me. But I am absolutely just blown away by all of this. And as I said, Anthony is a human. And so while we are continuing to watch him kind of play around with all these different shapes and see how he can make this pattern really stand out and be awesome with all of the perfect little, triangles and diamonds, the rhombus that he cut, we're going to take a look at his Instagram, because as I said, he's a foodie. And first up, let's appreciate his hair. Holy crap, that hair is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, Anthony. Yep, made that pecan pie for sure. I didn't like it, so I'm going to go ahead and go over there and give it a little like and do the things. But yeah, made that pecan pie. Yes, I did. I would like to make those macarons. Sure would. But yeah, there's his hair. His hair is amazing. I love it so hard. That's absolutely stunning. And yeah, I made that chicken Alfredo as well, or fettuccine. Never know the difference between pastas either. Cheesecake, yep, made it. Tiramisu, And then there's a whole bunch of this other stuff that I don't have a recipe for. So I would like one if you get time. I don't know how you have time to do all of the things that you do, because you're busy with your IRL job. But are those empanadas? Can I have some empanadas? Or the recipe at least? I would like that. Yeah, you guys, seriously, go check out the socials for Mint2BSpiced for eXtraSoaps, who is also Mint2BSpiced. He does all kinds of things, again, in addition to his IRL. So I'm not going to harass him too terribly much for recipes, but kind of sounds like I already am harassing him. Okay, and onto the cut of this, and realistically, it's not a cut, it's just another part of the whole prep, or, where you're actually putting all of these pieces together into one finished soap. Again, as I said, he made his own melt and pour recipe from scratch for this, and I really like his recipe, and I love that he also did a clarity test with all of it, kept it, included it, so I wanted to include it in the video, because a clarity test is very important for clear melt and pour, and I don't remember the exact width that you're supposed to cut it for your clarity test, but it's pretty thin. Yeah, sure, that, whatever that is. And if you can read through it, then, clarity achieved. And I can read through that. Chicago cutlery, it looks good. Looks very good. So well done on the recipe. As I said, I did not include this part, but he has said that he has zero problems with any recipes being shared. So if anyone is interested, let myself or him know, really. And we can put it in the Discord if he hasn't done so already. So pouring all of this into this perfect setup that I'm actually interested in how he actually got it all into the box like that, because he assembled it. So I'm going to assume he then like took the parchment paper, transferred it, or maybe he even built the mold around it. That could very well be too, because you see a lot. It's a bunch of boxes within a box. So there's a lot going on here, everything to stabilize it, set it up. So he's going to get melt and pour, ideally just within the negative spaces around the diamonds, enough to make everything stick together. I don't have a mold that would have done this accurately. So probably what I would have done is build it in a square mold that I have for like a 4 bar, batch of soap, and done this pouring thing, and then just cut off the excess afterwards, because the actual mold wouldn't have matched the exact size of the soap. But he is doing it by creating his own mold, which I also love. And as you can see, we've got some seepage going on in the right corner there right away. But that's okay. With melt and pour soap, because it sets up so quickly, that is going to solidify before it leaks everything out, and so it will essentially create the seal, so he can pour another layer on top of it. Now, that's also true of cold process soap too. If you ever have leaking molds or whatever, it will eventually solidify and stop up the hole. But with melt and pour, it's usually a faster process for sure. So it looks like he did wait for a little bit and then spritzed it with alcohol again to put some more soap onto it. And really, because he's pouring it so thin and so hot, and that it leaked, I think that's a good thing to make sure that it gets through to all of the negative space, the very tiny amount of space left between the diamonds. And so I think that that was very smart. And then putting another, and ultimately again, a good thing that it leaked. It kind of shows that the soap itself, the melt and pour, was thin enough in order to get through. So when he takes all of this off, everything's not going to fall apart in his hands. I did leave the whole unboxing of the soap in because I'm interested in this warlock. I'm interested in the process and exactly what he went through to get all of this out. And it's not bad. Like, he does have, it's a loss. Like, there's a lot of loss with the melt and pour for sure, but it's not terrible across the board. I don't see any issues. It was a pretty smart little setup there. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Peeling everything away. And so far, I haven't seen any pieces of the soap actually come off. You know what I mean? So we're winning in that regard as well. Very smart that he lined this with the paper so he could get everything off easily. But yeah, it all came out. It is a thing. And the end product of all of that, right there, absolutely stunning. That is so creative, so inventive, took so much time. I am so proud of you. Well done, eXtraSoaps. And there it is, Extra Soap and his amazing soap for the Argyle Soap Challenge. And you can totally tell why he won. I am so proud of him. He did such a great job. Having him in the community has been such a cool thing for sure. I have a number of scientists within this community, and I really love picking their brains. I love picking all of your brains and seeing all of your creativity and all the ways that you approach soap. But for me, when I see, the scientists doing their things, I get it. These are the people that exist in my brain. So I really appreciate it. So thank you so much for doing the things. I actually did get a package from Anthony. So I have a package. It's a box in a box. Oh, it's heavy too. So these are stickers from Mint2BSpiced, which is, his foodie channel, which is awesome. Obviously, go check that out. But the first thing I did, because I saw the mint leaf on it, was smell it, thinking you'd made some scratch and scent stickers, and that would have been cool. But I don't know why I am the way that I am. I also have an adorable bag of soap samples here, which I think are really, really cute. Very bright. Isn't that delightful? I love these so much. And these are a nice size to do for guest bathrooms and all of the things. And then I have another box here. That was great. Oh, how beautiful. So within this, we have the lavender lotion that he won the last challenge for. So I love that. And I love these blue bottles. I'm a sucker for the cobalt blue bottles for sure. And we'll do the first pump on camera so we can see what it looks like coming out of the thing, Nice to meet you. There it is. Looks very delightful. Oh. Oh, it smells great too. This is very nice. See, unfortunately, I have an owie on my hand, so kind of have to work around it as I am bad at things. Oh, it feels great. That's an instant hydration, which is good. I haven't actually put lotion on today yet, so that is perfect. And feels nice. It penetrates quickly and it's nice and not sticky. I dig it. That's perfect. Thank you so much. And we also have another option for lotions. It's called Dreamsicle, which is very cool. I'm not going to test it right now. I already have lotion on my hands, but it smells delightful. I love that for sure. And the third is another lotion called Moonlight Lotion. It says Indian Sandalwood, and that smells delightful. And if this is the same consistency, which I think it is, yeah, so it looks like it might be the same formulation. It's likely the same formulation as the lavender bar. So if that's so, this is actually going to be something really good for Mr. Soap and Clay to put on his chrome dome. So the rest of the stuff in here is a bunch of soaps, and to be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to be a little bit mad if he sent his soap like the one he put together to me, because he made the one and he put so much time into it, and I'm going to be mad and then I'm going to cry and then it's going to be a thing. But like the first two that I pulled out, they have the actual pattern on them. So a picture of the soap that he made to use for the label. So it's going to be a sample of his melt and pour, as well as a sample of the cold process that he made for, the actual, for the diamonds. And so I'm very excited to test the lather on these guys, and I'll do like a short on YouTube when I test the lather for sure. And he also sent me the blue version of the one that he used within the soap challenge too. And it does say on the back that there is the organic blue butterfly pea powder as well as the ultramarine blue. So that is good to know. And again, I'm excited to try those lathers and do the things. Then we also have a tiger stripes soap, which is super beautiful. Why are you spoiling me? Why are you sending me all these beautiful soaps? Now I'm wondering if I placed an order. I didn't place an order. You don't have a website. Yes, you do. Etsy.com shop extra soaps. Why wasn't I told that? Oh my God, that is amazing. Okay, first up, I swear, I know that I didn't put an Etsy shop into, I didn't think he had an account, like he wasn't selling right now. And I think I specifically said that he wasn't selling. So now I feel like an asshole. Because if you look on the back of this, it says etsy.com/shop extra soaps. It gets there. And I will have already put this in the video throughout the entire thing at this point. Like you'll have seen those socials, but I'm literally just finding that out right now. And this smells so good and it is so gorgeous. I love this so much. Absolutely stunning. It's so smooth. It's so beautiful. That scent is delightful. Oh my God. So called Tiger Stripes. I'm going to need to go shop. I'm actually a little bit confused because this amount of soap suggests that I did go shop. But I have no memory of this. I do have a memory of not realizing that there was a shop. So thank you, Anthony, for having done this. This is amazing. So delightful. And the swirls themselves, the soap, absolutely gorgeous. Look how pretty that is. That almost looks like a tulip or something in the middle. Super gorgeous. And I love the packaging. I love the soap band for sure. It's the right sizing to be put on a soap this size. It has the wrap all the way around, all of the pertinent information on the back. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love that, 10 out of 10. And I have two other soaps in here. I have a cherry blossom and a sandalwood. And I want to open both and show them to you, but this is getting so long and I don't want to, just sit here and smell a soap and be a weird person all day. So I will do these on shorts and we'll do some lather tests and make sure to promote Anthony's Etsy properly because I haven't done that and I'm super sorry about it. Anyway, yeah, I had no idea that you had a shop, I don't think, unless I'm having the weirdest fever dream ever, which is always a possibility. But thank you for sending these. I will definitely do some shorts so we can promote the actual Etsy and everything properly. But for you guys that are watching this at this exact moment, and also within the description and comments, it's always been there by the time you see this. So go check him out on all of his socials. Check him out on Mint2BSpiced, the food blog. Check him out on eXtraSoaps, the soap stuff. Check him out at Etsy.com eXtraSoaps and buy some soaps. Do all the things. Support him. He is an incredible maker. I love his craft. I love his talent. He definitely has boatloads of talent, and I'm very, very proud that he gets to represent the Sudzer community in such an awesome and positive way. Sudzers, thank you for existing and for being so supportive of all of your Sudzer family. It's definitely a cool community to be a part of because of people like you. So thank you so much. I know that you're going to go give Anthony all of the love, and I'm going to go to the website and buy some stuff because while I have a bunch right now, I would have bought it if I had known that he had a site. I'm going to feel so stupid if this was my order. But I am going to head out. I am going to unwrap these ones and do some shorts and get those ready to go. But for tonight, I need to go because Ed Sheeran just released a little docu-series thing and I want to go check it out. But you guys, thank you for joining me today for this final premiere for Project Soapway Challenge number 7. Thank you to eXtraSoaps for submitting and for showing your process, and for being so gracious and awesome and just helpful within the community. You are amazing. I will be back tomorrow for a week of recipes. Really, we're doing shampoo bar recipes. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye. I can't believe as long as this video is, I didn't manage to talk about Anthony's beard. It's freaking amazing. I love everything about it. And for those of you that stick around long enough to watch the little bloopers that exist at the end of the video, that's Project Soapway Challenge number 9. We're playing with beards.